Stuart,
Yes.
the bright lights, my eyes, they can't
Yes.
deal with it. So I think we should do Trekyards as a Terran would. There we go. This is how Terrans would do Trekyards.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
Actually, let me get some red.
No, that just makes it look worse. I gotta turn those off, but I'm not going to.
I need to make a red full screen. That's not working.
I never thought I should have had my iPad ready to go. God damn it. Could have been
Yes.
Mirror Universe.
There I am.
Foley.
That's kind of cool. I can just shift the color, and it's that sensitive to light.
Yeah.
That's there you go. That's quite effective.
That looks good.
Hello, everybody. We're at the Mirror Universe today.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
The trouble with Terrans. Thought that was clever. Goddamn. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about Terrans, specifically Georgiou in the last episode of Discovery, and have some theories, thoughts, comments. I'm sure there's a whole discussion to be had about the whole incident with her and the debriefing with the other man that has the fetishization of the Terran Empire, because she even said, I like it to be fetishized. So fetish, I can't even say the goddamn words. But you know what
Your
I mean.
fetish is not saying the word fetish. I can tell.
I can say fetish, no problem. It's fetishize. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, as you saw at the end of that episode, Georgia had a bit of an issue. So we're going to talk about that, some theories, some thoughts. Hopefully you guys have some that you can pitch in as well. So 76 people here, which is awesome. 33 likes, which is also awesome. We can hit 50 likes though, because Samuel's going to share right now and hopefully get more people into the chat. So
I can do that. Now I'm back from the Mirror Universe. It was great. Now I'm back.
Was it great?
Great old vacation.
Uh-huh.
All right, I will see you all in a minute.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys can super chat your thoughts, theories, comments, observations, ideas, tell us how stupid ours are, by all means consider doing so. We want to have you guys in on the conversation as well. You don't of course have to super chat, you can just do it in the regular chat, but the super chats do help the channel and blah blah. You know the routine, guys. As the Mirror Universe Captain Foley or Admiral Foley, I would threaten your lives, but I won't do that. So yeah, you can join the channel as well at the rank of Commander, Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, or Federation President. We got 2 of those right now, by the way. So you can join the channel. That helps us out. Head on over to Patreon. Help us out that way as well. There's also PayPal. If you want to throw in a PayPal, you can let us know in the chat that you've sent to PayPal. We will read your comment or question via the email for PayPal if that's a method you prefer using instead of super chatting. But it all helps out and is very. We make this content for free. We love having these discussions, bringing up these theories, thoughts, ideas, observations that some people might not think about, and we love hanging out with you guys and just expressing those ideas. So if you guys can join in the conversation, please consider doing so. We'd really appreciate it. 94 people here, 52 likes. That's great. We hit 50 likes right away. That's awesome. Can we hit 75 likes though? Can we get another however many it needs for 75? I can't do the math right now. 20, 21. Sure. Yeah, 21. Another 21 likes would be great. So hit that like if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll discuss this because there's a few interesting ideas or thoughts that are floating out there, and I think it'll be a good discussion because definitely a Star Trek trope to have the Mirror Universe, and we learned a bit about it in this one, so it'll be fun to kind of explore that and give what we think is going on with that. So toss a coin to your captain, oh valley of plenty. Oh, Valley of Plenty. Whoa. It's funny you should mention that medallion because I have just started rewatching The Witcher. So, very good, very good. Let's see.
What's going on?
Fetishization. That is, yes.
Still on. Stuart, I went away, and we haven't gone anywhere apparently.
No, we did a whole thing, but then just as you came back, Medallion had put in the chat how to say it, and I was trying it again. Anywho,
hello.
We got 2 super chats while you were gone, so let's read those. Let's work right into this whole thing.
Yes.
David Bessig, hello, David. $10. Hey, sorry, random question. The Enterprise J was 400 to 500 years ago, and I thought the ship had an extragalactic travel ability and tech. So feds have not left the Milky Way in this future, I guess. We don't know, and this is probably, I like how you said this future, because yes, that's another question as well. Which future are they in? So, yeah. Is there an Enterprise J?
Well,
who knows?
Just remember that Procyon 5 battle literally got undone. So even if the J happened, it didn't happen in that battle. And if the J did happen, there's literally no canon about it. Not its size, not its sort of armaments, not its bridge. Doug has said some stuff, but that does not make it canon. So it can't go into Galactic. He just thinks it can. He may be able to, but until they show it. So good for Doug, but the fact is the J was a rushed thing that he just put on a napkin and built it in a, it was a very, very rushed thing that was never really meant to go any further. That our interviews have kind of given him the chance to talk about it more than he ever had before, really, which is great. But the Enterprise colony was not grown just because he said it was. That's not how that works.
Well, yes, that's true. So there you go. BJ Turon, $2. He had model Terran Empire as a kid. He probably did. Yep, little electric, like an electric train set on the Electric Universe. He's got playing with a kid. Yeah. So.
He's got a torture. What's the torture chamber called?
The Agony Booth.
Yes. Buy it now. The Agony Booth comes with three molecularly synthesized organic life forms that you can disintegrate in the Agony Booth now for only 4,000 space bucks. And
they even scream in pain.
Yes. Synthetic death sounds included. What? Horrifying.
John Chanel.
Hey, hi,
$5.
John. Good to see you. Thank you.
Outside of the ships, the Section 31 interview was my favorite part of the episode. I can't wait to see how they expand on this. And there's no proof it was Section 31. We assume it was.
Yes.
A lot of people have made assumptions about him as well, saying that he was Terran and he was lying about the no crossovers for 500 years, blah, blah, blah. But there's no proof yet, so it would make sense that he would be Section 31 or some kind of temporal agent, you would assume.
We can get into those possibilities in a second of breaking down the scene as well. But Dave says, do you think that Voyager J should be Voyager Q or R or something, since Enterprise J was centuries ago? No, because that makes perfect sense. They got through, Enterprise to E in 300 years, and Voyager started 2400. So yeah, that makes perfect sense to be J.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 11
iterations in 900 years, so it's less than 100 year each. They could have done a really quick.
Would be in 700 years, and because it was pre-burn, it'd be 600 years. For the Voyager, I mean, the E would have been further, but if Voyager,
yeah.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, but it could have been built after the burn. You don't know. Could be new technology. Anyway, yes. If you average it out over 900 years, let's say that's Discovery time. I know, I get it, but still, it's easy to remember.
Yeah, I would like to know, because I just don't think they've been building ships. I the way it plays to me as if that is what they have. Maybe there's probably one shipyard. They can build one ship every couple of years, like it's that sort of back to basics. But there's no fleet shipyard, clearly, because the way they say it, we have more. We have more theories to burn than ships in the fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't. That sounds like they've got 30 theories and 20 ships. You know what I mean? They're not going to have 100 theories, because that's such a throwaway comment then, isn't it? It feels like it's such a... But then again, if they can't communicate with anyone past a certain point, then I'm sure the ships over there they can't communicate with, so that he has access to his personal fleet.
Yeah, maybe. Christopher Beatty, $5. Hey. There are a lot of odd statements made in this whole exchange. How do parallel universes become more distant? Exactly. Could be diverging timeline. It could be a lot of different things.
Well, I would just assume that, just like with parallels, all the universe exist, but we all share a multiverse, and you know, just
Well,
like galaxies push apart because of cosmic
yeah,
gravity, might be
yeah.
interdimensional universal gravity in a similar way.
Could be like two bubbles, and
Yeah.
there was that part where they were really close together,
Mm-hmm.
and crossing was easy, but
Mm.
as they
No, keep going. I just have a thought after that.
and as they continue on, they get further and further apart because they're following that curve. So hard to say.
Well, and I actually realized why. So think about it, though. The mirror universe is every time they do alternate universe, it's our universe that's split somewhere down the line. Although I guess also inherently evil as well. It's kind of a confusing one. But if theoretically it's split at Zephyr Cochrane, that's the idea. Although it doesn't necessarily make sense. But but if you argue that it's split somewhere down the line, then
Yeah.
the further from that split point, just the further you get away, because the universal magic of whatever. So it was more coherent, and then it was parallel, then it was alternate, and now 900 years later it's too far away. But the fact they were evil from the start implies it obviously wasn't parallels. It was a separate, similar universe. Or unless because it would be. It's daft to have even just the TOS episode given the Enterprise episode, because how they get to TOS tech, Enterprise makes it all redundant. You can't really get to that really.
Plus in the beginning of the Enterprise episodes for Mirror Darkly had a alternate Earth past as well, where we were much more warlike.
Yep.
So
and yet they still got to Zephyr and Cochrane. They still had Third World War. You still there. Yeah. They still had, So it's a weird one. It really, really is.
Yeah.
I still love that scene, but there's more questions than answers. Because you're right. I even forgot about the title sequence. Although, in fairness, they're all reused shots from Enterprise Season 3, except like 2. So technically speaking, they just did Enterprise Season 3 and just focused on the bad bits. Except the one bit with the Empire on the moon. That's everything else, and there's one other shot that's new. They did a very good job at cheating and nicking stuff from their own show.
I was just thinking of the war footage prior to that, like the World War I and II and stuff that they put in there. So it just implies that we were more violent all along.
But the fact that we obviously have that footage in real life, none of that was a composite, means that they're just showing the worst. Yeah, that's it. I do agree with you, but in terms of like, they were just clever to show the bad stuff rather than invent new stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mark Lawrence, $5.
Hey,
would have been nice to see regular ship beauty shots, not the up close partials, or far away low detail shots we got. Yeah, well, that's the Discovery trope, though, right? You see a ship for like half a second. There you go. We showed you a ship, and it's very poorly lit.
and these sorts of like taking up the frame are fine when you have like 09. They deliberately had Enterprise cut off on the side to show the scale of the ship. It didn't look good, but it was intentional. Oh, look how big it is. I get that. And so if Discovery was a much smaller ship in prime timeline size, then you could have all the other Federation ships look bigger, because it would be, all the future. And then you'd be like, oh wow, it's so big, it's taking the entire frame. Mm. But because Discovery's so big, and it doesn't quite work. That would have been quite an effective way of doing it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, like we've talked about the low res 3D models that they use, like unfinished stuff sometimes.
Often.
When they were using actual miniatures and models, they put a lot of time and effort into those miniatures and models, and so they do the pan across the Enterprise in the background kind of thing. Like at least I think they showed off the models a bit more than they do the 3D models, even though you can upscale a 3D model and have it look really good. So I don't know why they don't do that more often. So
no, that's a great point. Yeah, once you've built the miniature, they're actually going to show it, because they spent money. How many weeks and months was 3D model they can throw one out in 2 or 3 days, and they're disposable. That's great. That's a great way of saying that. But yeah, I just think, and obviously we're not talking about the ships per se today, but yeah, they absolutely just underbuilt the ships, because they only build it as what they must do rather than what they should do. But I think it's just going to be a case of each episode we see them, then they get more detailed as they are reprioritizing, and by the end of the season they're going to come in and be more detailed. That said, a lack of detail also is kind of fun, or you might get a great scene, and this could be a cool moment. So say the Enterprise, we always do that. The Voyager J, say it warps in or transwarps in, and then it's a smooth hull that we see, and then we cut to a bridge, green screen, whatever, and they say activate weapons, and suddenly the what do they call it? The matter, the reconfigurable matter. Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Yeah, and suddenly the hull suddenly matters itself, all the weapon strips. because they didn't need to keep them active, so they literally appear, and all the details appear on the ship as it goes. That would be a very good way of saying, we're able to keep cheap models and then use them when we have to, and keep it consistent. So that could be fun, although, yeah, they should definitely be better models. But, I mean, there is a behind-the-scenes video which we are going to talk about where they show them, and they're, like, under 20,000 polygons. I mean, they are, efficient, good for them, but they're real simple. My hero assets I get made for fan films are much higher polygon than they do, which I find funny.
Olivia Julius, $5
Hey.
at work, but we'll leave this so Stuart doesn't miss me so much. #Picard Fertilizer. Thank you, Olivia. I was wondering where you were. I told Samuel earlier, you're ruining my day because I hadn't heard from you all day.
Aww.
So thank you.
Don't ruin Stuart's day.
Well, she's made it better now. So
okay, there we go.
David Bessig, $10.
Thank you.
The Disco writers make it seem like the whole parallel universe is different on the atomic level. I think it used to be more like the universe is the same. Humans just made bad, evil, horrific choices. Yes. That being said, I can see, like, when there's creation, the big boom, or the Big Bang, there's the opposite of that as well, which is, if you want to get into it, different universes could be comprised of different beginnings, essentially, all happening at the same time, all different effects from the same cause, right? So, could be slightly different. We don't know.
Yeah, although remember, it's kind of the puddle analogy. If you look at a puddle, or if a puddle is sentient, say, look, this as on a muddy day. Wow, this hole I'm in is made for me. No, you made it by dripping onto the floor, but it's perfectly holds you, because you made it. It's a whatever. And so you might say, the mirror universe, it's so close to ours, because it's the one we happen to get to. Like, there's always going to be one universe where everything possible happens, where one universe where everyone's evil, so this is, it might seem improbable, but this was the one out of the 10 billion we found. So it is just a numbers game when it comes to parallel universes, but I do agree it is odd though. But I do like the idea of having that gene of evilness. Like, that explains why the universe is so innately broken. That's a fun concept, and if you can then cure them, quote unquote, that's kind of fun in its own way.
Yeah, and even the episode Parallels, where we get access to all the different parallel dimensions because of that one incident, could just be that the mirror universe that we're so accustomed to, the Terrans, is because it's just so close to ours as far as being on the same atomic level or whatever, that we can actually access it so much easier than the other ones.
Sure. Well, I mean, it was fully parallel until a certain point, and even into TOS. I mean, it's so parallel that all the same characters are all still alive in both timelines. Crazy.
Yeah, I have a real problem with that.
And DS9's still built, even though everything about their cultures would be different. Although there is some implication that only humans are more dickish. Because Klingon seem relatively Klingon-y, Cardassian, same thing. So maybe it's more of the universe where we really, like, humans were just worse, and therefore we got Enterprise tech, much quicker, and we became an empire, and because of our influence, because you can breed into people a sense of I need to fight back by a few generations with injustice, etc. So, if you have an opposing force very quickly, you can fight that equally quickly. But the fact, they definitely use the mirror universe more than anyone else. So obviously you hope their writers understand it. But the fact that Georgiou is so tame and unscary and unmirrory, like, you would easily not say she was a mirror universe character. She feels like she's a Section 31 character, a bit off kilter, picked for a whatever weirdness. But you would never call her mirror universe, especially if she has no problem with light reaction. So again, everything they set up for mirror, they abandoned. So what was the point of being mirror? Because that said, though, in this scene, obviously, it's really cool to have them talk about that. So it was a good hit, but
BJ Tehran, $2. Georgiou got taken to the farm like Boimler. I mean, there's a good possibility. That's one of the theories that we want to talk about. But
that'd be great. And it's the same ship, but whatever it was called, but F. It's like, this shit show is still flying around with its lightning clouds.
Yeah. The name of it's just on the tip of my tongue too. I just can't think of it.
Guys, what's the name of the ship from Lower Decks?
No, they don't ask them. I want to get it.
Okay, I will look at the chat, and I will give you a clue. You don't look at the chat, apart from the
Okay.
super chat.
Well, I'm going to read the super chat now.
There we go.
Dennis Williams, $10. When
Oh,
they
thank you.
upgrade Discovery, do you think we will see things like phaser strips, different nacelles, etc.? You know, like noticeable stuff, or they just say they are upgraded? I think it's gonna start off saying just some things have been upgraded, and you're gonna see a few visual differences, like very small and minor, and then hopefully the beginning of next season, it'll be like after 6 months of refit, Discovery is finally ready to launch or something, and you get this like pass of the ship, and it's like new
It's just been the
nacelles, new
trailer
hull
again,
color.
the first trailer.
Yeah.
Same doc. That's a coincidence.
Oh, the Discovery Alpha version. There you go.
We just finally got to the Discovery. What's 3? Alpha, beta, delta.
Well, the third one would be beta because the first one's the first one, then A, then B. I mean C? That'd be the fourth one.
No, I mean we call it Discovery Alpha. Discovery Beta would be the production version, so it'd be Discovery Alpha, Beta, Gamma.
Well, yeah, I guess. Anyway. The Ostler, that's it. Thank you.
You weren't meant to look at chat. No, Tim, that's the main ship. We weren't talking about the main ship. Yeah, there's 3 toes. There's also 3 toes.
All right, so.
What were you saying? You're saying something interesting about a thing.
I never say anything interesting about anything.
Well, that's certainly true.
Wow, thanks.
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Stuart. So, what? Explain the scene. Although, okay, starting further back, who do you think this guy is then?
Well, I don't think he's a Terran as much as people are saying. He's Terran. I don't think he is. I mean, the whole glasses is a red herring thing. Like, he's wearing these glasses to protect his eyes from the light, and Georgiou caught him out on it. I don't know if I buy that. So I think he's probably Section 31, or just Special Division, Special Branch, because they do make a point of saying that she was easy to pick out because of her quantum, whatever the hell it was that made her. So he's just in charge of special stuff like that, like Terrans, time travel. He's probably one department that covers all that kind of stuff, like the X-Files. So yeah, that's what I think he is. I don't think he's Terran at all. And he's, like he even said, ever since I was a kid, I've been really interested in the Terran universe. So it's something that is a speciality of his. So I don't think he's Terran.
Yeah, I would never have. Everything about the scene says he isn't. So I don't know why people would jump to that. My gut is Section 31, although I think it's so evolved at this point that he wouldn't. I think at some point we're going to see us have a scene where somebody calls him out. Are you Section 31? He's like, oh, haven't had that in a long time. I haven't been referred to that in a long time. I mean, no, but yes.
We're Section 4 now. We added those two together.
I'm Section 32. We will laugh now. They fly now. We will laugh now.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. So I think, but I like that he's a sort of just a general specialist. I like that in the future they have so few officers, but they still have like the creme de la creme because they are head of Starfleet. So the headquarters of Starfleet. So he's like the equivalent of Temporal Investigations, which you kind of just feel like those weird acting people in DS9. But a guy does everything else.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or last remnant of their time agency, whatever. It's illegal, but you still have to have some.
Yeah,
might be my.
I think it's more of an amalgamation of both. Like the temporal department would have been dropped because it was illegal, but they still need to investigate it should it crop up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's probably
exactly. Yeah. And it'd be kind of fun though if there's part of the story. Not that we just want time travel all the time, but it'd be kind of nice if at the end of the season, they're like, I mean, we could send you back. We still have time tech. Obviously, we just don't use it. We just don't use it. And this guy's just like, well, I mean, I could send you back, but I'm not going to. And then they work out a deal. Because I did, to actually really truly remove all that tech seems impractical, especially as you can just go around the sun or a Red Angel suit or whatever. I mean, people designed it. Even that Klingon guy designed it. Klingon random scientist man, he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Completely flawless time travel, go through time vortex thing.
Dennis Williams, $5. Could he be a synthetic human like in Picard? I see them doing that as a nod to the show. I would say yes, there's a distinct possibility. He could definitely be some kind of synthetic, either an android or a hologram or a combination of both. I don't know. But I could see that being a thing for sure.
The thing about that though is that this far in the future, say when it continued like it did in the Picard, at some point they're gonna have kids. Their kids will have kids. Their kids will be enough kids to go out and explore. They'll fall in love with an average human. They'll start having children too. And now synths and humans just interbreeding, and now there is no real concept of synth because it's just they made a subspecies and they part of the gene pool, and now it's just people. So you might get reference that my great great grandfather was a synthetic life form, but I'm everything now. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there'd be that differentiation this far ahead.
Yeah, I want to jump in something in the chat too. Tim Cook he said Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Fox. That's not what it meant. Like Alpha, Beta, and then it's the Roman. No, not Roman. Latin. And I think you're right.
1, 2, 3, 4, rather than full signs.
Gamma's because Omega's last, right? So, yeah, I don't know what comes after.
Maybe Delta. Sure.
Could be.
Delta,
yeah, it is actually. Yeah, Delta, Gamma. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know the whole thing, but that's what we're going for. We're going for semaphore or whatever that is, the military code.
Because they did the test NX ships, the NX Alpha, NX Beta. That kind of vibe. But it's really just an in joke for us because we're the ones that coined the
Alpha.
Discovery Alpha. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Christopher Beatty, $5. One interesting thing was the question never answered. Who is in charge here? I think it says volumes about the whole situation. Yes.
Well remembered.
Well, he doesn't have to answer her questions. She's the one she's not in charge of the situation.
No, certainly not.
But yeah, I mean, the way it was asked and the way he answered, because there's 2 questions she asked, and she says, take your pick. And he went with the burn one instead. So, yeah, okay. It was interesting, but still, I don't think it was any big deal.
Oh, I feel like it could be, though.
Could be.
It's such a sidestep. But, I mean, the thing is, the CNC explained, we're the heart of the Federation as well. Well, is the Federation or Starfleet in charge? That's the first question. We've only seen the Starfleet bit. So are we going to see the Federation, leader? Is there going to be a president, a chairman? Was it kind of like Star Wars where the Emperor created martial law? When the burn happened, the president of the Federation took emergency powers and now runs, has unlimited control over the entire whatever.
It's the Emperor.
Exactly. They're going to hire, is that Ian, isn't he? Ian
McDermott?
I think that's what I thought it was, yeah. Yeah, hire him. An awesome source said, am I Pogo? No. I'm not.
No problem. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I know I'm generic white guy, but I'm not that generic white guy. But I have got a TNG uniform that's just as good, but he can still green screen better than me, which is frustrating. Like 10 years ago. Bastard.
And Tim Cook, no problem. We'd like reading the chat and kind of.
Well, this is a conversation. Like this is one of those like really like there's no renders, no images. This is a debate. Where can we go? How can we go? And we already had some great ideas, specifically that you said in the chat.
Ian Warrender, Technical Solutions, £2, 100 likes. Let's get to 200. We have 240 here and we're 115 now, so that should be easily doable, guys. Yeah. Hit that like button. If you haven't, we can hit 150, I think, within the next 5 minutes. So hit the like button. AK Steel, $2. Getting the 12th Doctor vibes from him.
I mean...
That's Capaldi, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is a bit Doctor Who vibey. Like, in just the amount of knowledge he clearly has under the surface.
Yeah.
That's a fun vibe to play. Because he's also playing dumb, but it's a in control dumb. It's a good directorial choice.
And people have made the comparison to Smoking Man from the X-Files, kind of the guy that is, is behind the scenes, knows everything, doesn't say too much, says only what's necessary, but knows so much more, and you'll never know how much they know.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess the real question is, are you going to see this guy again?
Oh, I would love to because he's so good. But with Discovery, they just like, where is Sahil, whatever the hell his name is on
No,
the.
yeah, exactly.
I have a feeling we're not going to see him. Maybe the last episode we might see him. Maybe.
Well, hopefully that'll
But
be like Saru's sister, like, hey, there are episodes, and all of our heroes will come together at the end, and he'll be flying a battle shuttle, and be like, for fuck's sake again, why is everyone getting battle shuttles? Jesus Christ.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Or is he going to be a regular? Are we going to see? Because it'd be kind of fun if we cut to Burnham walking in on the CNC, because they can just wander in. It's not like there's a chain of command or anything, and he's there talking to him, and he's like, oh, sorry, and he beams away. And it's like, who was that? Oh, just one of our lead officers. Because you can just beam in and out, can't you? So it'd be kind of a fun way. Bit too ostentatious for him. I could see him just like walking out of frame, and then our characters come in and he's already gone because he beams away so quick, like that classic disappearing man trick.
Yeah. Jaddock Productions, $2 Australian. I think the Emperor is going to get her butt kicked. Well, it would be nice.
Or a tool to kick more butt.
Well, we haven't got into the theories yet.
No, we haven't.
Fun discussion. But Shannon Nash, $10.
Ooh.
1, the appropriate response to Section 31 affiliation. What's Section 31? First rule of Section 31 is you don't talk about Section 31.
Second rule is if you talk about Section 31, you're not in Section 31, you get shot by Section 31. Third rule, you're not really shot, you're not really killed by Section 31 by being killed by Section 31, which is being recruited into Section 31 because you found out about Section 31, now you are part of Section 31, see rule number 1.
Yes. 2, every time it's either Terran or Section 31, there are organizations out there that would have that information. Yeah, and I don't think it's specifically a Terran Mirror Universe kind of department, because if it has been 500 years since the last crossing, there's no need for that.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
But if it was a common occurrence that they were looking for this kind of thing, then yes, I could see their own department for that as well. So. Well,
and like you said, it's just like the X-Files, just like this is the weird shit department. The specialist. That's all we call him, is the specialist that comes in, or just one of the science team that happens to as I said, he's got a passion for mirror stuff. Perfect person to bring in. It could just be that simple, because he was using his holograms to interrogate her. He didn't necessarily intend to get involved, so the holograms do their classic routine. He watches, learns, and then move on. But it obviously didn't turn out that way. But it could be less obnoxious. It could just be an officer. Or even more like a professor, because that could be kind of cool. Like the way he's dressed is suit, crystal tie and comm badge. Well, he could just be literally like a civilian professor guy who knows so much, and so what better guy to jump in and investigate than someone who literally read up on her, who knows her, and we see him play with the Chiron and such. I mean, it could be that simple, which I wouldn't be against. It'd be kind of fun.
Well,
yes.
So what we're really here for is at the end of the episode, she's staring off into space, Georgiou. Michael comes to talk to her about the song. She wants to run something by her, and Philippa is just staring off into nothingness. And Burnham finally asks, "Are you okay?" And then she Michael. And why would you ask me such a ridiculous question? And as she walks away, she kind of has that look on her face. Yeah. So there's a couple of theories out there as to what that could be. I don't know if you want to just fire off a few of them and then talk about them each, or how do we want to do this?
Just a quick shout out to the chat. Medallion, it's the Javash. They're back. Yes, I like that.
Yes.
I'll react to the scene first, then we can jump back into the theories. It's one of those things that it feels like Tyler Vok all over again, in terms of, look everyone, here's a thing that's going to happen later on. We're telegraphing it for you, but doing it in an appropriately, mysterious way. And I think at this point in the show, it was quite a straight line. Unlike Mandalorian, which is a straight line, but with a lack of meat. This has been a straight line with meat, so good for them. And so now we're at, well, we made it. What do we do now? That's why this next episode is going to make or break the season, I think. How can they bounce into the real story, you know?
Mhm.
And so this is obviously one of those big elements, or it might be smaller than we think. You know, Tyler Volk was quite big, and then not quite big, and then whatever. But I did like how it was framed. The oddly long pause. You know, to me it looked as if either she was being like deactivated. It's a weird thing. I would like to know if the actress was told where the story's going, as to how they act it. Because often actors can ask or not know, because how it was acted was quite unusual, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's the first thought that I had too, was like she's almost got activated.
Yeah.
Michael. It seems so like turning on a switch, which raises the question, was she replaced by a hologram? Which does this guy have designs on her? He actually has the real Georgiou, sent a hologram over to maybe learn some stuff. Although in the preview for next week we see her pass out as well. So there's
future holograms. I mean,
yeah. I mean, so like, is she a hologram? Did they access her memories? Did they remove the Terran gene that makes her evil? And now she's actually feeling remorse at the things she's done in her life. What was the other one? Did she just realize that it's been 500 years since a crossing? And her original plan was eventually at some point to get back to her own reality and perhaps take over again. Was there some kind of plan that she had ongoing? And now she realizes that since there's such a separation between the two, that she might never get back, and she feels just helpless. Like, there's a lot of different things that it could be, and I think discussing them is going to be very interesting and kind of open up some new ideas. So,
let's start on that last one, because I hadn't even considered that. That's a new whole, just the simplicity of her world got shattered.
So and you saw it on her face when he said that. There's been no crossings for 500 years. Yeah. It shocked her.
Yeah. No, actually, I really, because that would, it's like Detmer, where I didn't like it being PTSD because it's too simple. This works being too simple because it's not a convoluted sciencey plot. I think we'll probably get one of those. But yeah, let's dive into that for a second. So yeah, I mean, we've asked, why is she on the ship really? Obviously, she had the Michael Burnham connection directly. She mothered the evil one for decades. That's a bond you can't just lose. Now, there may be the reveal that she'd been playing on the Michael Burnham character for 2 years to try and trick her to eventually, see, can I turn her to be my side, so that one day I can take her back with me, because together we're an unstoppable team. / this universe always has more tech than we have. The longer I stay, the more I learn. But there was no hint in season 2 of I want to go back. Again, they didn't plan this. They didn't plan season 3 when they made season 2. So they had no idea where they're going to go. So how could they, But you would think if there was any implication that they may want to go back, but especially if she's gone to the future, she knows Spore Drive could travel in the future. They did that once, and parallel universes, they did that once.
Exactly.
And the Tholians did it once, and then there's ways of doing it. So maybe the whole, it'd be kind of fun, at least for me, and do agree if you do, if the whole time she wanted to say, this is my long con, I lost my empire, I will let them take the empire wherever they want to go, I will return with all this new tech, with this spore ship, I'll build a new one, whatever, and I will wreak havoc on everyone else, and be controller, but with this whole new, work ethic, as it were. But I'm happy to play the long game because I'm safe here.
Well, she's the kind of person that would play the long game. So
she would, yeah.
So for her to realize that it might not be a possibility now, and considering, she crossed universes with the Spore Drive, she's gone through, well, they did go through time as well as cross parallel.
6 months.
Parallel dimension at the same time, yeah. So there's that possibility as well. That yes, now she's just realizing, shit. My plan that I've been working on this whole time I've been here is now null and void.
Do you think she did want to go back, having now seen how her face was?
She wouldn't be happy. She wouldn't be happy here. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that you could really drop her off on a planet with some primitives, and here you can be in
Yeah.
charge of them. I don't know.
And you should never give her control of Section 31. Only Kurtzman
No.
would think that's a good idea. You don't give Space Nazi the key to your secret weapon shed.
It's funny. The last thing that was said in that interview was, so we'll turn the tables around there, and there's probably somebody on Discovery that you care very much about.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last thing that was seen of that discussion.
When he took control
again.
Yeah.
Yes. Could another possibility be that he basically threatened the life of Michael and or the whole Discovery crew, unless she works for him? Like, so she's got it on her mind now that if she doesn't do what is expected of her, Michael is going to be in danger. She does care about Michael, whether she wants to admit it or not. We've seen a lot of indications to that effect. And so it was weird that was the last thing that was said in that conversation before we see her again spaced out. So again, a lot could have happened, but that was just an interesting beat to end on. So he realized that there was somebody that she cared about on the ship, and then it cuts. It's like, So
I will respond to that after the super chats, because that is a nice little tangent of a good thought.
Let's see here. Kristen Montgomery with $5.
Thank you.
He told her the two universes are spreading apart.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia will have to travel back in time or perish. Badgie caused the burn. Love the show. Thank you very much, Kristen. Well, see, and we have the theory too that tying in with Calypso, that yes, she does actually go back in time with Discovery and leave Discovery parked somewhere for 1,000 years.
Well, and in fact, the whole the impetus for her going back in time is now so that she can go back in time to then go back to her own universe.
Yes.
Like, that might be the only way now. But at the end of the season, she's like, look, I have to go home.
Maybe her crossing and coming over to our universe is what caused the separation between the universes, because something from that universe was left in our universe, so it began to drift, where she has to go back to restabilize things. Don't know why you'd want to necessarily or need to, but it could be tearing the universe apart. That could have caused the burn. I just solved it. The separation of the Terran universe from our universe is what caused the burn. So to solve it and to prevent it from ever happening,
wow,
she has to go back to her own reality to keep them like a zipper, so it doesn't get ripped apart. It has stayed together and not cause the burn. I just solved it. I'm so genius.
No. Okay, good. I got my laugh. Hope for a big laugh, but no. But that would be them saying our season 1 arc is really important, which I could see them doing. But I felt that would be a weird. I know you won't really say that's what you think is going to happen, but it was definitely a brand new theory. But to have the entire thing linked to the Mirror Universe directly is kind of like, okay. Now I could see, just like with season 1 of My Serial Network, that potentially someone from the Mirror Universe was pissed off and sent a bomb through and killed dilithium, and so she has to go back in time to avoid that. Because if they could say without Georgiou, the Empire effed itself even faster, or was or wouldn't it be kind of funny if without Georgiou on the Chiron, Spock would never have gone with Kirk to the planet, for then Spock to do the TOS episode, for Spock to take over, become Emperor, disband the Empire, get to DS9, get to a peaceful universe. So because they nicked Georgiou out, the Mooniverse timeline changed, which then reset everything else. And so the key Discovery is an alternate universe, because they took a Mirror Universe person, and it all shifted. So if they reset it all, then the last shot of the show will be Michael Burnham on TOS Connie in the captain's chair with a gold wraparound. Right, okay, wow. There you go, Stuart. That's where you're going, right?
Sure.
Excellent.
Yes. Let's see here. Where is it? There's one. Medallion says it took 1,000 years for events to burn. You could call that a slow burn. Mwahaha, mwaha. Medallion also says, damn, that was a slow acting consequences. Was it though? 1,000 years in the galactic scope of millions and billions of years? 1,000 years is nothing.
Yep.
I could definitely see that being a thing.
100%.
Area 51, $5 has something to do with quantum. That's usually the case. Quantum something something. Could actually be quantum entanglement. We know that two particles quantumly entangled, whatever, and since they jumped in time, as well as her through a universe and that far ahead in time, could have dire consequences for any kind of quantum connection she has to the other dimension.
Okay,
So
let me go
it is
back.
quantum.
Let me go back a step then and suggest something else that's simple and radical, right? What if they knew they ran out of dilithium, and they say the closest universe still is mirror universe. We are going to go to the mirror universe and barter for some dilithium, but that goes horribly wrong. Like you said, quantum entanglement. You can't do that. You can't use alternate universe stuff. And maybe once
It's
they
like
brought
matter and antimatter.
yeah. So once they brought a certain type of mirror universe lithium into our universe, it effed it all up. Oh dear! And so Georgiou is important because she's got mirror. That could be. I mean, I could see that being a bit more. Especially since they said that we cured them 200 years ago. So you did make peace in the mirror universe. As in we found the cure, so you could deal with them. So that could be. I mean, that'd be. I wouldn't mind so much because I just want this. I want a simple answer to dilithium. Really, really, it was a simple accident, understandable.
I think we might be onto something though. Fat produce, $5.
Thank you.
This is a whole separate live we're talking about now. What this with the burn, the cause of the burn, not what's up with Georgiou. Anyway, fat produce, $5.
Thank you.
My 2 cents. I think that Georgiou we see at the end of the last episode was a hologram that the real Georgiou is controlling. I would be fine with that. I could see her being replaced because we never see the end of that conversation. We don't know how it turns out. And yes, either he's controlling it or she is, and they're working together or whatever the situation is. But I could see something like that, especially considering he's a Terran fanboy. So to get to the opportunity to work with the famous Emperor Georgiou, who crossed universes,
billions of things.
yeah, and has now time traveled, landed right in your lap. It's like it's a perfect thing for him, right? So
I want to sign one autograph every day, so you got to stay in my office. What? I mean, hologram seems just odd to me because why a hologram? And you'd have to be a hard light hologram first of all, but then it'd be such what a shitty program to then turn off halfway in a corridor staring. It's like an NPC that fails on its roots in a game and suddenly faces a wall for no reason. It's like, well, that's a bit obvious, isn't it? So I don't quite being controlled again. You'd think this technology level would be just she'd wear a passive neural interface, and I shouldn't have to think about it. It'd just be, So problem with the advancedness, I would be more fine with a synthetic life form, like he clones her directly out of synthetic body, linking to Picard, etc. But then, at that point, you're just doing a full clone. That's why I kind of liked your last idea. That's why I went on to that straight away, where she just mentally is a bit now, oh damn. Because then she's spaced. She just spaced. She was thinking about it. Because think about how that might be minutes after her chat with the guy. The timelines are kind of all concurrent. So that could be 20 minutes after. Just go back on the ship, start walking, thinking, and then just like... It actually kind of works, as simple as it is.
And the thing with them saying that they isolated the genome that caused the issues as well, could it be that they simply removed that from her DNA? So now she feels guilt for the people she killed, the things she's done. Because guilt wasn't a factor before, much like we see with people that are psychotic. They don't have empathy for others. Could it be that now that she's been genetically altered to be, not Terran, essentially, that it's really affecting her? That's another distinct possibility, because they don't want a Terran running around in their future when there hasn't been a crossing for 500 years. So.
And yes, Jadek, I was specifically referencing Red Dwarf. I mean, that obviously, took us an hour to kind of happen, but that is the most realistic option. I mean, that's called a setup and a payoff, and in terms of characterization, I think that's the only real option. There's no other one. Everything else is kind of a fan. Let's have a fun thought, but yeah, I mean, you wouldn't say it unless you meant it. And in terms of, I could see the entire arc of the season for her being, they fixed me. I hate this. Michael if you know me as evil me, I can be good, but I'm not me. Help me undo this, and then she has to side with the evil Hitler to become Hitler again. Because the fact is, Starfleet has got enough problems. The last thing you want is a megalomaniacal, mass-murdering, narcissistic assassin lady. So just cure her of her evilness, and then she'll be maybe helpful. Like, of course, and do it without her will. Why would you? Why, you know, if you could neuter Hitler, you're not going to give him a choice, are you? Like no, you know, serial killers. Like just make him good. Why would there be a choice? Free will be damned. This is Hitler. Remember, this is space Hitler. Worse than space Hitler.
Yeah,
She doesn't get a say. She has no free will. Now that's pretty radical. But come on, you know, but then side effects or and then obviously you've got the idea of that treatment was designed for mirror universe people in the last 300 years. Her genetics are further back, less evolved. So they thought they were doing a simple procedure, sent her back, but it's glitching, and I like the idea of feeling grief, feeling remorse. That's kind of fun. Like her brain is expanding, is changing, and so yeah, her dealing with emotions could be really fun. Could in terms of acting, she doesn't just have to be a sarcastic naysayer every scene that sends off one-liners, which is all she's done really for the last 5 episodes. And certainly, the moment she walks away, her face, that her retort is so weak. Like, the venom there is as small as possible, and still sounding strong. There's nothing there. There's no bite behind that. And yet her face is like, "What was that? What was that, Philippa? That was a shitty retort." So
why would you ask me such a question, Michael? God, that was stupid.
Yeah. Is that it? Wow. Yeah.
TMA puts in $5. I think there is a connection between the music, the mirror universe, Georgiou, and the burn. The resonance caused the dilithium to explode. Yeah, there's going to be some stupidity with the song and some kind of quantum resonance or something that affects the dilithium. It's just they introduced it all in this one episode. Well, and the end of the last episode, but that doesn't really count.
No, that was just a thing.
Yeah. But it's not like it's been ongoing for a few episodes where this song's been a thing.
It really should have been in like the first episode or something.
Yeah, just something. Even a dream. Like she wakes up. You hear the song at the beginning. She wakes up from a dream, and then you tie it in later with everything else.
Well, I mean, I think it's almost too much. Just have it playing in the background in one scene, never mentioned, and therefore we all say, "Wait, that was in episode 1? What the hell?" Like that, you wouldn't even want to make it that obvious. Just have it in the show.
Watch this. It's in Calypso or something, and we just haven't noticed it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Sure. That wouldn't be too bad. Hey, everyone, go back and watch Calypso right now. You've got time. Let us know if that song. But I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about that theory because I've got a specific theory about the song. I think we're not going to do our own live about it, so it probably makes sense to. But no. I guess it might be tomorrow's prediction one. Probably good for that. Maybe
it'll be in there. Yeah. Plus, the next episode I don't think is going to focus on either one. The song's going to be mentioned at maybe the beginning of the episode and at the end, and then there's going to be another episode later that will. Anyway, the next episode looks stupid.
But I do think there's so little to talk about in the next time on, so I'll save that for tomorrow, just so we have something, because it's a good little theory. I mean, in terms of like making Georgiou good, like she, even if it was for evil purposes, she did manage to conquer a galaxy, or at least inherit a galaxy from the last Empress. You know what I mean? Like, with no context, I doubt this woman is capable enough to really take on. Like, she didn't forge the Empire. She was the next Emperor in line. You know what I mean? So she might have killed the Emperor last week. We don't know. I mean, not literally. You know what I mean? Recently. So there's no context there. But clearly a capable leader, whatever. So making them good. And that's that. You know, a lot of potential there. And well, actually. Should I go into the idea where you said about him blackmailing her? Because I've got a...
Sure, yeah.
So in terms of that, I hadn't thought about that great idea, because this is one of those things... I can't remember what film or TV it is, but they said, to fight criminals, you've got to send a criminal. You got to send someone who understands, because only they can kind of approach it. And so this guy might be saying, either he works with Starfleet directly, or, he's like, well, this woman, Terrans are very good at certain things. Really good. So I absolutely will take this opportunity to utilize her skills and I need that. So I could see that being another thing. Like, only a mirror can take on this sort of bullshit. And which is basically what they did with Khan, in a sense, in Into Darkness, supposed to be more organic. They might be saying, these raiders, this Emerald posse, whatever they were called.
Emerald Chain.
Thank you. The Orions and Andorians, they are scum and villainy, raiders. And maybe they're thinking, well, we need a new perspective, so maybe Georgiou can help. / I'll blackmail her so she'll help.
That's the Into Darkness. Fucking...
It is, but it makes way more sense. Because she's done this already. So I could see. He is recycling his own story from 7 years ago.
I can see them doing that 100%, actually. Goddamn.
Hey, you got me to that idea. That was a solid, you got almost there.
Oh,
that's
awful.
What do you guys think?
Let's move on. I'm sure we'll circle back to all these anyway.
Yeah.
But Scott Maisie puts in £5. Based on Foley's theory, would that mean Burnham is responsible for the burn, as she brought Georgiou across, which caused the separation of the two universes? I can see that. And if the burn is actually referring to Burnham, I'm going to be pissed, because that is the dumbest thing ever. But I can see the telephone game. Yes, the last part gets dropped. It becomes the burn. I've seen the writing on the wall since it started. I've denied it, and I don't want that to be the case, but I can see it being a thing. I really can.
Well, it's like I refuse to believe that they'd be stupid enough to make her the Red Angel. And I was half right and half wrong.
Yeah, look what happened there. Yeah.
Look what happened there. But they didn't make her always it, so,
Well, yeah. Space Thing throws in $5. Maybe the song will turn out to be a lullaby Georgiou knows, and the burn is her impact on the prime timeline, with the song imprinted in everyone. But how did it get imprinted in everyone? That's the weird thing.
I would hate that. I would hate imprinting.
I would hate it too. Absolutely.
I absolutely just despise the Doctor Who master. He's always doing a 4 beats. It's like, no. For 45 years, he never had 4 beats, you fucking morons. Like, if you send it to his past, it exists all throughout his timeline. He was never insane with that, you shitty bastard fucks. I hated that.
Wow. I tell us how you really feel, Samuel.
It was just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Oh my goodness.
It's thinking you're clever and yet fucking someone in the ass and then stabbing at the same time. I don't know. I just like the Master, and they totally ruined the Master until his... But John Sims got one good Master appearance when he just played the Master finally, while not being insane. Then they got killed. Got him good once, good though. Once. Yeah.
Well, we've thrown a lot of things at the wall. What's gonna stick?
Oh, all of them somehow. They're all gonna.
You think? Well, one of them has to be right, unless they really sidelined us and there's something coming out of nowhere that we just don't expect.
Yeah, it could be all of the above.
Very likely is.
Well, I do think it's the simple. The simple. She's just unmirrored, but then doesn't make her boring. I mean, although it does allow her to be part of the Section 31 show, because if you make her good, then...
Yes. No, absolutely.
Then she could lead a secret organization because she's no longer driven.
That's what's got to happen. There's got to be a redemption for the character, because we've said all along she can't be redeemed. She's worse than Space Hitler, the amount of people she's killed. She's eaten sentient beings. There's no redemption for this character. If it's all genetic and it can be changed, then of course we'll feel bad for her. No, I won't, personally. If it was genetic, it was against her... That's the only way they'll be able to redeem this character, is to say it was not her choice.
Through drugs. They'll fix her through drugs. Fix the character through drugs.
Before we continue, though, London Bridge Brick says, I've been watching this channel for years. So glad you are doing well, boys. Thank you very much, London Bridge Bricks. Appreciate that.
And are you actually from London? Which London? Have you got London Bridge? I've got London Bridge.
London Bridge Bricks. I built the motion picture refit Lego Enterprise today.
Ooh, fancy.
Is that a kit, or is that just one of the online ones you can get the instructions for?
How big? How many? Is it to scale?
Well, I've got the 350 sized Mega Blocks. TOS Enterprise.
Yeah.
And Alan Craig, $5.
Thanks,
Perhaps
Alan.
the burn was caused by a harmonic resonance that exploded the crystals. and that's why they all know that tune. Well, it doesn't
Okay.
explode the crystals.
Yeah.
It renders them inert. So,
But I don't mind the chicken and the egg though. The again, we'll go into that tomorrow. But I hadn't thought about that. The idea that yeah, the song is a. But no, that wouldn't work though because she said the song is through cultures throughout history. So why would dilithium crystals inerting go back through time? It would only work if it was a present day thing.
because it happened around the end of the temporal wars. Something happened. There's going to be a temporal element to the burn as well.
That's interesting.
And that's going to be what sends the pulse or the song throughout time. It's going to be something.
Well, again, I have a specific theory of what it means. I'll say for tomorrow. Yes.
Squadra Course, $2. Samuel's Doctor Who rant deserves this. LOL. It does. It does.
Yeah.
Rants are good. We like rants here, and we do them sometimes.
It's just sad because Anthony Ainley from, Doctors 4, 5, 6, and 7 was great. Just great. Didn't need to change that. Longest ever master. Did the most episodes. I mean, so was Delgato, but they were different,
Ooh. Dread PSN. What about the Tholians? They are crystal based, so wouldn't they know how to manipulate other crystals? Ooh.
But by that same logic, it'd be the crystal guys from Lower Decks because they worship crystals. Maybe they teamed up with Tholians.
Yes.
I mean, that's
those damn wood worshippers. Yeah. Screw them.
Oh, I mean, they would. Oh dear, Tholians. we need more Tholians in canon in general, but let's not have them destroy the universe of dilithium.
Yes. Ezra says it's going to be something dumb like a crack throughout time from Doctor Who. It absolutely will be.
Yeah, I've been avoiding that.
If you play the song backwards, it spawns dilithium. There you go, Greg. That's a good one. The song is a message from Spock to his sister. Oh, dear Christ.
Yeah, I'm just going to stop talking about that bit because, like I say, I've got ideas. I'm just not going to...
I guarantee you're right. Okay, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow for that. Wow, I haven't even... Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I can see them doing that. Alrighty then. So yeah, what do you guys think about the theories for Georgiou? Any that we haven't talked about or touched on that you wanted to have us address? By all means, throw it in there somewhere so we can see it and gladly talk about.
Because is it as simple as she's been neutered in essence? It could be that simple. Nothing against that. There's oftentimes the simplest option is the most clean and efficient. Although I do have a picture I want to bring up that.
Well, while you're doing that, Medallion, Spock, I like crystals.
Spock. Yeah. This is I'm sure you've seen it, Stuart, but the Sci-Fi Fanatics chat made this on Photoshop, and I just wanted to bring it up. This because it's cool. Okay. And it's a picture of the Saru and Burnham in the new uniforms to show how that would or would not look. Just while we're in a slight lull of the conversation, because I know we are both proponents of GTFO, those Discovery uniforms.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wear the damn new uniforms because of course you would. You wouldn't be wearing a 900-year-old uniform if you're part of the New Federation. Doi. I mean, I don't think you could justify that at all. So this is what a wonderful chap did as a Photoshop as to how that... I don't know if you've seen it, but...
I did, yeah.
Yeah, Saru's a ton better, but this is how they would look. I mean, well, they've got the wrong rank, but we haven't seen a captain yet, so it's hard to... But that's fine. It's fine they're on the wrong ranks, and they got... they shouldn't have those, but it's fine. Conceptually, what do you guys think? Do they look better in this uniform? Do they look smarter? I definitely want to see him. I think we need to, and because that's I mean, come on, these uniforms much cheaper to make than Discovery ones. All those bloody Deltas custom in the whatever. So do them for the entire cast. I know. Obviously, you keep showing like 60 extras, so it's a lot of uniforms to make. But that's why you've got an entire costume department. You know, it's not going to cost that much compared to a CGI sequence or 60 costumes. It's not that much, guys.
They do look really good. They do. Yeah, they look really good. They do seem very regime-y, though. They have a kind of a hard edge. They got the high boots, the really stiff collar. It's very much pushing that line, especially with the shoulder pieces.
But Star Trek 2 though. I mean, they were too militaristic, and the Nemesis one's still.
Yeah, but they didn't look regime-y. They had the asymmetrical look. I mean, these do too with the stripe, I guess. But there's something about the TNG or the Rathacon uniforms that doesn't feel like it's walking straight out of like the SS. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I compare these to the Imperials from Star Wars with the grey.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah, exactly. But you look at the Rathacon ones, and they're a little bit more subdued. The turtleneck doesn't have the stiff collar. It doesn't have that hard edge.
And that collar's. I mean, why the hell do you have that collar? It's so floofy and bubbly but it's sci-fi, you know.
Yeah. Well, Dennis Williams puts in $20. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What if it's about the sphere data? When it got taken to the future, it disappeared from the universe, and whoever built it, others of its kind, started sending a signal that's trying to call it, and that signal affects the dilithium and also spawns a sentience within Discovery. Damn. It's interesting.
Tying it all in a bow.
Boop.
Maybe.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Gosh. Damn. Cool.
Space Thing throws in $5. Saru isn't the wrong rank. That's the captain's uniform shown in the new clip from the next episode. Oh,
we haven't seen a new clip from the next episode.
We haven't.
Yeah, didn't know there was a captain in that episode. Why would we? Haven't seen the episode yet. Cool. That's exciting. They didn't show any red people. I mean, obviously we found them, but they didn't show any red people, so I'm happy to see some red. And
Tiburon says the Rathacon uniforms look like a throwback to the British Sailing Admiralty uniforms. These uniforms throw back to Nazi Germany. Yeah, they do kind of have that look. But yeah, it's
just a crisp uniform. You know, it's just a really crisp, militaristic, as opposed to a
Yes. Yeah. Dystopian guy. The song is a distorted version of Picard's Inner Light flute song. Oh my god. So many theories. Anyway, Georgiou. Okay, well, yes or no? Do you think that she's actually Georgiou, or do you think she's altered Georgiou, or not Georgiou, like just a hologram or something?
No, she's altered Georgiou, one way or another. Yeah.
Because that would explain the fainting in the next episode, because we do see her pass out.
Oh yeah, well yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
No, it's side effects. I can see he might have given her a choice. You know, it's like, we can't let Terrans exist. You will either go to prison, or we'll give you a treatment to cure your Terranness. And there are no choice. That's it. And she's like, well, and obviously she's thinking, well, maybe I can undo it. She's being smarmy.
Well, she even said, "Don't make anything up and tell me it's genetics. I'm nasty even for a Mirror Universe person." She said, "She goes, I'm particularly wicked."
By given your actions last year and a half, but okay.
Yeah.
But I can see him saying, cause why would you let a Terran walk free of this caliber, of this far ago, because we've seen that the Mirror Universe changed with DS9. It was far more gentle in terms of Terrans. She came from the bleakest time of all of it. So you wouldn't let her reboard the ship that could save your Federation. So I can imagine it was just like, I mean, we're not going to force you, but prison or drugs. And she's like, I mean, I guess drugs. You know? And then side effects,
Yeah.
because she's not
Yeah,
actually, the same.
I can see her
genetics.
I can see her taking that option and being cocky enough that
Yeah.
that wasn't the reason. I'm just nasty,
Yeah.
and then realizing that shit, I'm not nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could buy that. I would buy that.
And I can also see it'd be kind of interesting if we get a flashback where she takes the drug and then she goes on Discovery and then goes to her quarters and there's like other drugs there because she's like been doing not like recreational, like she's been stowing merchandise from other missions, and so she like injects herself with a mental block, like she's trying to undo it with old tech because she thinks, oh yeah, it's fine, I know it all, and then that's causing problems.
Do you think there's going to be some kind of tie-in? Well, this is probably for tomorrow. Never mind. It's something about Detmer. But we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with Georgiou. So, Area 51, $5. Flip the uniform colors: gray stripe and red jacket, maybe black trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have a Wrath of Khan feel then.
Yeah,
Over shoulder thing.
I'd probably go black stripe, not grey. Grey would be random. Grey stripe. Maybe put rank in this stripe. Maybe like, because it'd be kind of nice with the, if you went classic Admiral, to have then that black. You have the gold trim either side. Actually, I want to see how that looks. I'm going to see if I can find an image and Photoshop it, because that sounds kind of fun. I guess we just did see them with those guys. How would I do? Yeah, I can probably Photoshop that.
Squadron course. What's the Federation statute of limitations on genocide?
That is a question we should all be asking. Yeah. Yep.
Probably 1,000 years. So they're still under it. They're 930. They still got,
Oh dear.
Oh man.
That's great.
Whatever. Could Georgiou have been invaded by the remaining she had on her shoe of control? The remains she had. Oh fuck no. No. Do not bring control back into this.
As I've said every time that's been suggested, Kurtzman explicitly said no more control, but he also doesn't tell the truth, and he, by the end of season 1, it'll all link up the canon.
Even visually.
Alex, that's totally what happened. You weren't just lying to us to appease people. Sure. You and your team would never lie, JJ. Oh. No, and also they clearly, think about it, they invented Discovery, the show, and then by the second season they literally said, we're going to erase it from history. And then they got to the future, it was erased from history. All of the technology, all the events that ever did were erased from the history books. So it had no impact in the universe or anything. That's a ballsy thing to do. So when they go into season 3, they also erased the time suit. The thing that and I hate the fact they said earned one time crystal. Go get another one, you little bitch. It's not that hard. You got a spore drive. Get another time crystal. They erased that, and now they don't have that ability anymore. Even though they could just build a new one quite happily. Call the tech exists in the computer database. So they've obviously said, season 2 happened, but we're just gonna move on. Fresh start, fresh galaxy, fresh timeline. Even though doesn't mean what they think it means. They've still tried to move on, etc.
Yeah, shit. Hold on, I'm getting the link for the model, this Trekyards model group for London Bridge brick guy, because he wants to show off his refit Enterprise. So I'm throwing it in the chat there. Hopefully that'll get you there. And
I'm
just join up.
photoshopping a uniform right now.
Yep. Did we read Area 51's $5? Flip the uniform colors: gray stripe, red jacket.
That's what I'm doing.
Maybe
right
black. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And Jorg Elfring as a new member to the channel. Welcome to the rank of Commander.
Commander.
Good to see you, Commander.
Like I said, our commander's lounge is very full, and yet the captain still leaves all the best snacks to himself and the higher ranks. I've asked for better snacks, but I'm sorry, guys. I do try. The commanders do try. I know we've talked about the commander mutiny, There is enough of us versus higher ranks, a damn theocracy of higher ups. But he still gets away with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to draw on your mirror universe Terran self and take what you want. I'm trying to teach you that to be more assertive, man.
Well, he stopped taking my calls, so
It's true. Dennis Williams has joined the channel at the rank of captain. So welcome, captain.
wow.
Come with where all the good snacks are.
Yeah, apparently since I invented that cannon. Yeah, double members in a few seconds. That's amazing. Thank you. Amazing. Right. Okay, I'm gonna fix the rank pips as well because they don't look good red. But I'm just trying to do this quickly, guys. But it's certainly good to get your opinions on this. But yeah, I'm trying to do it quickly, not be obnoxiously. So what do you think? What do you think is most likely? Like we well, I was gonna say like we know those writers aren't the most developed writers, but they've impressed us again and again this year. So how complicated do you think they're going to be, and how convoluted, and how canony are they going to be?
Well, I think there's going to be some. Again, this is going to be the whole reason for the burn is going to be tied to this Georgiou leaving her universe thing. But as for what's going on with her character right now, I'd say it's definitely the option was given to her. Either have the genetics fixed or you're basically not going to jail or prison for whatever.
And you could double down on that. Maybe he even said, you asked to lead the Federation. Well, I have a big part to play. My voice carries weight. So if you want Burnham to stay in, if you want your ship to be allowed to stay together, I wouldn't say that the CNC gave in too quickly, but they shouldn't be the ones controlling Discovery. No offense, but maybe she made a deal somewhat selflessly. Take the drug and we'll let Discovery stay together, which obviously for her still might be useful for her in the future. It's still worth it for her, but you could have something very simple like that as well. Explain why,
Yeah. Or again, they threaten Michael in some way. Like we've known she's had a year worth of activities that she's been dealing with criminals and we know you care about her, so if you don't want us pulling the plug on her being on the ship, you're going to have to toe the line. Essentially, that's another option as well.
Yeah, the problem with that though is that's such a bad precedent for what Starfleet's mentality is. We've been impressed with how positive they were,
but that's the thing. I think there's going to be an underlying snake in the grass as far as the Federation and Starfleet goes that we're going to find out later. That they seem all right, but the visual clues, like even with the uniforms, is that there's something else going on that's a little bit darker. That would, and usually in these kind of instances where you meet the bad guy, they're the one offering you candy. They're the ones with the smile on their face. They're the ones with the pretty house, the pretty car, and yet they're the evil ones once you actually get sucked in. And I think that might be the case here. There could be that underlying tone going on that will emerge episode on episode.
Yeah. Although Dave L says we should have an episode where our two Federation presidents host.
Yeah.
We could do Streamlabs over where you can watch but not be on screen. I have them be on screen and be like, we welcome the show, and then say, right, they get 15-20 minutes.
Mark Lawrence and Olivia can just talk and whatever they want to talk about.
Talk to the chat. But here's the image. Here's the original, as you guys know. Did some brief photoshopping. Do not think of it as particularly astonishing, but it gives you an idea. As I had to do a few little things. So this would be how they would look with a primary color and black/gray stripe, maintaining the rough color for the other things. So there'll be a slightly more TOS vibe. They are very shiny, but that's just what they were. So what do you guys think? Is this better? Is it worse? What do you guys think? What does Stuart think, of course? Mr. Foley
I
himself.
haven't seen it yet. Oh, there we go. With the red?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they do feel very Wrath of Khan-ish, but at the same time, it's like too much, I think. To have them all wearing that would be too much.
Yeah. And like the gold and blue wouldn't look necessarily good. Mounties. Hashtag Mounties. Yes.
That's exactly what I was. Yeah, I was looking at it going, it's reminding me of something. Just throw a Mountie hat on one of them and you got it. Yep, absolutely. Damn. Yes.
Due North Discovery. Or Due South Discovery. Which one
Or
was
your
it?
beef. Well, I was going to say your beef eaters, but not really.
That's great.
Put a big black hat on them.
Now, if you like, if you made the stripe black, if you cut off with the chest, maybe. But yeah, it's definitely too much. Definitely. Which is hey, you don't know until you see it. The fabrics are like they're very shiny here, but yeah. But guys, I think we are about nearing the end of this tremendous discussion. We are $22 away from a good round number and 6 likes. So if we can get some 4 5s, or by math 5 5s to end us out, that'll be a nice, a good chat. I like the discussion. You had some good ideas. I'm really happy because you pitched this one, and I thought it was going to be 1 or 2, and you jumped in with some sort of.
Had a lot of time to think about it, and a lot of them kind of jumped out at me right away too. So, Sergeant Roadkill, £2 there, Mounties, yes. And Sturm von Ulk, $2.
Thank you.
Look like bellhops. Yes, bellhops. Somebody also said the visitors from V, which again, yeah, very, very good. Area 51, $2.
Thank you.
Hey, I spitballed and missed.
Oh.
It's okay. It doesn't look bad. It just doesn't really suit Star Trek.
Yeah, well, it just shows
it would
you.
Work.
I'm sorry.
It would work in another sci-fi franchise or even Star Wars as some kind of division of the Imperials. Yeah. I think it would look fine.
Oh, but yeah, it'd be the Imperial Guard version of like officers.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. Or Sith Troop officer. Yeah, medallion. Yeah. But no, this episode was good as we know, as you know. This week, I think we're both less excited for, but that's only one part of it. The way no, sorry, I'm not getting predictions. No, that's tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow's prediction video. Yes. Yeah, tomorrow's a prediction video where we're going to talk about, I guess, burn theories as well. Because why not?
Music theories as well.
Well, it's all going to tie together, so yeah. Yeah, next week's doesn't look as interesting for sure, so.
But I think they're
probably less to talk about.
We're hiding stuff on purpose.
But I agree.
There was and Stuart, I was able to confirm that the poster that was released was from CBS, so we already have some more graphics ready for a follow-up on the fleet, but that's provided us another image of each to discuss, so do look forward to that either at the Saturday or slightly later, depending, because you guys really tuned in to watch the last one. We want to do a more detailed one as well, as there were tidbits here and there, and in fact, they just released an image of the Discovery crew, as in the cast, chilling out on set from the scene where they are about to spore jump, and they have a picture on the physical displays of the Voyager, same as we saw from the show, but it's a much higher res image, and you can zoom in. So, oops, there it is as well, etc., etc.
Cool. Storm von Ulk, $2. Change the colors, and it could be Babylon 5. Ooh, yes. Yeah. Designing uniforms is difficult because, again, there's so many ideas, and then, you're using ideas that have been used in other things that remind you of other things visually. So I think they did a pretty fine job with what they have. So.
Yeah, and I didn't even consider Babylon 5 until I saw a post about that the other day. I was like, oh yeah, they are just very, very, very similar to the Babylon 5 uniforms when the original grey. I mean, they are like 75-80% the same design, which is not, This is why a lot of the time when I'm like doing fan film strips, I don't look at anyone else. I just take my my brief, and then I do my gut reaction. And someone may have done it before, and we obviously have a first-hand story about that. Someone doing it, but it's like then at least you can say, "Oh, I didn't know about this," rather than, "Oh yeah, I liked that." Because I mean, it's only about designers than me, but I don't just want to be influenced by them, etc., etc. Now the canon stuff is different because you look at that and you get influenced, but always just trying to stay away from fan stuff, etc., etc. Because it's all been done in some form or another.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like I had a guy when we did the Horizon original, like, hey, look at the Horizon, here's 2 episodes on it. There was a guy saying, oh, it looks like a ship I designed in the 90s, and I'm like, great. Then he sent me a picture, and I was like, I mean, yeah, yours is a Prometheus Voyager combination with tuna cells. Yep, it has some similarities.
A lot of ships have similarities.
Sure, similarities, yeah. Yep, bros. Yeah, so last super chat.
Well, guys,
can we get $4 more? That'll round us up. And last super chat, and yeah.
Area 51 says Mork's uniform sort of hit my mind when I first saw it. Mork for Mork. Mork and Mindy.
Morks. I don't know what. Let me Google that. It doesn't not ring an instant bell. That's so stupid. Huh. Fun.
Yeah, guys. So, yeah, if anybody else wants the last super chat slot, like a couple more bucks would be great. Sturm apparently has it right now. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening and contributing your theories and stuff in the chat. We really appreciate that. It does help us move the conversation along and come up with new ideas. So,
and at least 3 more likes. Come on, we've got 228 more. 20 people. Come on, 3 more likes. Come on. And just to
210.
Oh, okay. And just to pimp our episode from today, we released the 3189 Security and Medical Officer detailed look, breaking down those costumes. That's our part 2 of 2 of the uniform follow-up. So do tune in for that. And Stuart, well, I've not seen it yet. I know the audience was more inclined for us to do. And guys, you please react to this as well. We were doing a Trekyards on Sunday. That's our plan either way. And there's more of you than there were yesterday. Would you guys rather see the Star Wars Lego Holiday Special drunk review and discussion, the new one, or the Starship Space Battle versus best strongest one of? Yesterday, more people wanted the Star Wars one. I'm very excited to see that. I think we're slightly more leaning towards that because of the fan reaction. Although it was a Star Wars stream, so I can see that being sense. But what do you guys think? Would you rather see the Star Wars stream? Because Trekyards are, again, super chat based, and we drink for those, so it's, encourage us to lose our minds with super chats, etc. On Sunday, either way, it'll happen on Sunday. So which topic? Strongest ships of Star Trek, the R list, and Trekyards doing it better? Which will take a little bit of thought from us. I'll have to sit down and plan that. Or the holiday special drunk review and chit chat.
I just realized I have a first reaction review that night too.
For Mandalorian?
Yeah.
That's great.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Anywho, Sturm Von Alk, $2.
Thank
He
you,
scoops himself for the last super chat
Oh, he
slot.
sniped himself.
The bow tie uniform is stupid. Yes, I totally agree. Sergeant Roadkill, £3.
Thank you.
Roundup. Gotta go, boys. I think that's what that stands for.
Good to see
you. And T Reed True throws in $5 with no comment, but thank you very much. He's got the last super chat slot now.
Well, he did say a second ago, and I'll read his last thing. Glasses make you look smarter, or make me look smarter. Yes, he does look good with glasses. Those glasses suit him. I don't know if what if they were his real glasses, or if they were?
I think they are.
Yeah, Then it makes your glasses canon to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like, you never bring your own clothes, so it'd be kind of fun.
All right, guys. I think that's it. So thank you, T Reed True. You're the last super chat. So appreciate that, and thank you all who watched. This was really fun. We got 2 new members this time, which is great.
Yeah, brilliant.
So
those do help a lot.
Yeah.
And guys, people who have contributed to say Star Wars, which is where we think we're going anyway. So probably do the Star Wars one on Sunday. Hopefully it's good. That should be fun. So another thing for you to take pictures of, Stuart, and it's a time travel what?
I've already seen it. I watched it earlier today.
Oh. Okay. Let's not ask him what he thinks. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, he's Captain Foley.
He's Commander Crockings.
and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
See you later, guys.